Hey, hey everyone, how are you? It is Lori Hoy here, and today we're going to talk about foot pain. So if you are someone that's constantly on your feet, you exercise a lot, or maybe you just got out of bed and you felt something pop, you never know. I'm here again at Fresh Start Chiropractic with Dr. Fawn, and she's going to share with us some ways that you can help to alleviate some of that pain and maybe talk about some different types of pain and whatever.
Exactly.
Conditions,
So,
I guess. Okay.
One of the common complaints a lot of my patients have are they get out of bed in the morning and it hurts to step on their foot. Or after they sit down for a while and they go to stand up, they have really bad foot pain. After they walk around for a while, it doesn't hurt as much anymore. But what those symptoms tell me is they somehow got the bottom of their foot irritated and they probably sprained the ligament on the bottom of your foot. That's called your plantar fascia. So a lot of people have heard the term plantar fasciitis. And what that is I'm going to use my model here. There's a piece of a ligament that goes from your heel right up to your toes. And that's the one that goes right underneath your arch. So like she said, being on your feet for a long period of time, exercising a lot. Some people can hurt it if you try to go up a stair and you miss it and your foot overextends.
Oh, I've done that before.
They really hurt. So sometimes you know what you did, sometimes you don't. But once it starts, the bad thing is you're always on your feet and it's very hard to get it to heal, and it can actually just progressively get worse if you don't nip it in the butt as soon as it starts.
Could you get that kind of pain just from wearing the improper footwear?
Absolutely. Everybody should know I just yelled at Lori for the shoes that she wore in here. Let me show you. Hang on.
But they're yoga mat.
They're very flat sandals with no arch support. They're squishy. She's trying, but there's no arch support whatsoever. So, yes, the summertime is a very common time. I have to yell at my women patients for wearing their $1 Old Navy flip-flops that,
I
you know.
those up a long time ago.
So
it's really not a deal, guys, because you're going to be paying her to fix your feet.
Exactly. So buy good footwear.
Yeah.
So what we'll talk about is how to, first of all, what happens. When that tissue gets sprained, it will start to get inflamed a little bit, and what it's trying to do is that little tiny tear in that ligament, when you take your weight off your foot, it's going to contract as you aren't on your foot. So when you go to stand up, the worst damage that you do is you're putting your flat foot right on the floor in the morning, and you're re-irritating that ligament because your arch collapses. So the biggest thing you can do is have good arch support for your feet. And this is going to sound really silly, but you have to put your feet into shoes when you get out of bed. As soon as you put your flat foot on the floor, you're going to re-tear it every morning and it's going to get worse. So I say go to Walmart, buy the cheap little arch supports and put them in slippers or something, so that when you take your first few steps out of bed, you have that arch support under your foot and it doesn't automatically re-stretch it and re-tear it and start it all over from the beginning. So
good idea.
If you go barefoot a couple times throughout the day after you've been on your feet, it's not the end of the world. But the most you can do when you've been off your feet for a while, if you have that arch under there, that'll help. So number one is really good arch support. And yes, ladies, that means some kind of other shoes rather than flip-flops while you're hurting, because it's not going to help matters. The next thing is you got to take care of the inflammation. So all along this bottom part of your foot, it's inflamed. So my favorite thing to have people do is put a bottle of water in the freezer, and at the end of the day, or when you're done, when you're off your feet, you want to take out that bottle of water and just roll it underneath the bottom of your foot.
So it'll be frozen, the ice though, right?
Yep, the frozen, frozen water. And then, just for a couple minutes. You don't need it very long because your foot's really small. So a couple minutes of just the ice. And then my other thing that I have everyone do is take like a golf ball or something hard and round, and you rub that underneath there as well, because that's going to help to kind of break up that tension that you've put in that ligament all day long. So icing, stretching with the golf ball. Another good stretch is to use a towel, and what you're going to do is you're going to basically stretch the bottom of your foot. You're going to gently pull that way, and you'll feel it pulling. It's a good calf stretch too. You can do it this way with a towel or a belt, just you want to make sure it's just stretched out at the end of the day after you've been on it all day. You can also
way down a little bit more too. Oh, that's a good calf stretch too.
Yeah, exactly. So
2 for 1 stretch. I like it.
You can also do this on on the side of a stair. You can stand on a stair step and,
Okay.
and push your ankle down.
Okay.
But this is safer because then you can control it a
Yeah.
little bit better. So stretching, icing again, arch supports. Now I'll show you what I do for my patients that come in, and you can actually mimic this yourself. I'm sure a lot of people know what KT tape is. You can buy it in your local pharmacy. It's just stretchy athletic tape. You see all the athletes have shoulders and knees and stuff taped. But the biggest thing that this tape does is it helps to support your arch. So when people are in a really acute state of plantar fasciitis, I have them tape their foot and keep it taped as long as they can until they see the symptoms start to go away. So you're going to cut the first piece. I've already pre-cut all this, but you'll see it's stretchy. The first piece is going to be a teardrop shape. So we're going to start right in the middle of her toes, and we're going to make her bend here. And we're going to pull, and we're going to make a teardrop, just like that. Now don't worry about this piece up here. We're going to cut that off. But the first teardrop goes right around the ankle and right around the heel. And you just don't want to go too far up on the calf. I know you probably can't see that, but you want to stay down. Oh, she's flexible. Look at that. So the first one is like that. And then you can put your foot down a little bit and relax a second. And the next piece is the same exact thing. We're going to just double whammy it. Now, watch, be careful, because it bounces and then it gets all tangled up, and people say bad words when they're trying to
like
put the stuff on. Yes, it's just like saran wrap. And then it comes around again.
And is that fully stretched out, or is it like 75%?
This one is as stretched as it can go.
Okay.
So you anchor it and you pull as hard as you can, because you can't really get this one too tight.
Okay.
Now the next piece is a full piece, and this one is going to go around the toes. And now this one is carefully. This one you stretch before you put it on your foot. So you stretch it out first, and then you wrap it around the bottom of the foot, and you come across the top of the toes, just like so, maybe, and kind of like that. So what we've done there is we've anchored that bottom of the teardrop, and now I totally don't have my scissors in this room. I left them in the other room, but we would cut this off so it wouldn't be there. So her foot looks like that. Teardrop two ways, and then around the top of your foot. Now this one, again, you don't want this one to be super tight, because when you put your foot down, this one's going to get tighter on the one on the top. But this is a really good way to support your arch and support. There's actually another arch in your foot that goes this way. That's what this one supports. And then this tape will last 2 or 3 days through showers and sweating, and it's really, really nice because it just gives you constant arch support. Now it's still not as good as actually wearing arch support, so I want you to do that when you can.
So I couldn't put this on and wear my flip-flops.
Absolutely.
I was trying out there, ladies.
It was a good try. I mean, it's better than nothing, but definitely out of bed, put those arch supports in, ice and stretch at the end of your day, and hopefully if you can catch this in time, you can get it to calm down, relatively simply. But if it goes too long, like I have patients that come in after it's been there 6 months, then it takes me a long time to fix it. The other thing that I do have in the office that can help is the cold laser that I use. The cold laser is anti-inflammatory, and I can use that underneath the bottom of your arch.
And I have used that cold laser, and that works. It works for me anyway.
Yes.
I was just talking to someone earlier today, and she was a little confused because she also went to see her medical doctor about something, about an injury. And they were giving her the advice of moist heat versus ice. So could you talk to us a little bit about the difference and when we should use moist heat or heat versus ice on an injury?
Absolutely. You're going to see a theme to a lot of these Wellness Wednesdays where it's going to be icing and stretching, just in some way, shape, or form. The way that medical doctors look at everything, and it's not wrong, they just know there's a muscular component to a lot of injuries. And when muscles get injured, they get tight. So their thought process is put heat on there to relax the muscle. But the way that, you also have to remember is there's an injury there. And with injury comes swelling. So if people just run right to heat, which is what they do a lot of times, it'll instantly feel better while the heat's on there because it relaxes the muscle. But they'll tell me all the time, hey, when I take it off, then it gets worse and it gets achier. And that's because they've just re-inflamed it. So I always say you can never go wrong with ice. Always start with ice, depending on the body part, up to 20 minutes at a time.
Okay.
For smaller butter tarts, you want less. Like with your foot, you only
Right.
want maybe not even 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But if ice feels good, I always say stick with that. You can't go wrong with that. But if you want, it's never a bad thing to take and put half as much heat on it as soon as you take the ice off. So if you do 20 minutes of ice, do 10 minutes of heat right afterwards.
okay.
Because that way, if there is a little muscle tension from the heat, the ice can make the muscle cramp a little bit. So if you put a little heat on it then, it'll feel better, but it won't re-inflame it and make it worse in the long run.
What's another way that we can help inflammation in our injuries in our feet as well?
Well, that's a good question. When things are chronic and they just don't seem to be responding as well as I want them to this kind of stuff, what do? We check our diet and we see what we are eating that's inflaming us. What
It's
things
going to be
inflame
another
us?
theme. Oh, what things inflame us? Any kind of food with sweeteners in it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, grains, legumes, which are beans like black beans and kidney beans, dairy. That's a big one.
Exactly.
I don't know which ones, if there's one that's worse than the others, or if they all kind of have a different type of effect as far as inflammation is concerned.
I think it's all depending on the person, and that's why we do things like elimination diets, so that you can figure out. You cut one thing out and you see what it does. Hopefully you feel better, then you know that that's the thing that's causing it. It could be one thing, it could be 2 or 3 things, but it's different for everybody, but they all are definitely. My top 3 are gluten, sugar, and dairy.
Yeah.
And as much as nobody wants to hear that,
I
I'm
know.
really sorry.
So that like cuts out, cheesecake, period, because all of them are in there. So anyway, well, guys, I hope that you found this video informational. If you have anyone that you know that might be suffering from any kind of foot pain or joint pain, please share this video with them. It'll be posted for replay on my page and also on Dr. Fawn's page as well. And how else could they get a hold of you if they'd like to, come in for a visit?
You can either message me on Facebook. I check that all the time. You can always call the office. It's 570-748-3590. And we're happy to answer any questions however we can.
Okay. And we're going to try and make this a weekly theme on Wednesdays, hopefully, with our schedules are going to get a little crazy here when school gets back in session. However, I know, yeah, hers is already crazy. If there's something that you want to learn more about, maybe you have a different condition, a skeletal condition, or something that that Dr. Fawn can address, please let us know. You can either message me or Dr. Fawn, and we'll try to get that on one of our shows. All right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so
All
much,
right.
Dr. Fawn.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Have a
Thanks for
great day,
tuning
guys.
in. See you later. Have a great Wellness Wednesday, and stay away from sugar.